Hey, everybody. Thanks for downloading another episode of the Black and Gold podcast. This is the season 11 debut of the Black and Gold podcast, which is really crazy to think about. But it is. It's here. We're rolling. And I am your host, Alex Johnson. With me, as always, the world's most famous App State fan. He is Big C. And Big C, we're off to the races. It's here whether we're ready or not.
It is now August. And it's season 11, and football is literally like around the corner, and it feels like it just happened. Like I feel like we literally just got done talking about the baseball season and all that good stuff with those guys, with Braxton Church. And so a great way to end that year, but now we're back in it. School's starting here across the state, public wise. Today, my daughters and my wife went to the elementary school. They got their class list. They know who's in the class and who's not in their classes. That's the other unfortunate part. Oh my gosh, where's Izzy? You know what I mean? Like,
oh man, we've been through that.
Oh God, it's tough. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, pal. I had nothing to do with it. But anyway, we're like we said, Charlotte game is not far away. No. 3 solid weeks, and by the time everybody gets a gander at this episode, so here we go. We're going after it again.
Hard to believe. But what's not hard to believe, Charles, is we have our sponsor, Boonshine Brewing Company, once again on board with us, and we're very fortunate because Boonshine is such a not just like a cool brand and it's a cool place, but they really do care about the high country and where they are, where they live, where their business is, and about the community. And we're really happy to have them on board again to sponsor the show. And Charles, what's going on right now with Boonshine that people need to be aware of in this beautiful season of the year?
Well, everybody knows what Boonshine is all about. They aim to make the high country a better place, serving great beer, great food through the best-in-class service in a beautiful setting in East Boone. And when they do their jobs, the community happens. When we all do our jobs, the community happens, and everyone's successful at the same time. So they're proud to support App State Athletics and look forward to another great year on the fields, hardwood, etc. But as far as like events going on around Boonshine in the greater East Boone area, check in on the Tunes on Tap music series in the Beer Garden, 7 p.m. on Fridays. It's a free series, family friendly, and will continue through September. This Friday, as in like tomorrow, or it's this evening, if you're coming up to the mountain, they're featuring Funkle Stiltskin, a terrific funk band inspired from App State ties. Bring a chair, lawn chair, free music in the high country's largest outdoor beer garden. Overflow parking is available at ECRS and Brookshire Park. If you're familiar with the industrial park area of Boone, you've definitely gone to Boonshine and parked at either Brookshire Park or at ECRS a couple times.
We talk about this every year, but I don't know if you've softened on this. The Oktoberfest beer is releasing on August 18th. Is that too early?
All right, so you know how I feel about this. Like we're going here. I may have gone into a place that sells such types of things a couple weeks ago and saw like the first pumpkin. And I was like, man, it is July.
Oh, dude.
It is, I don't, it's like you got to buy it now and just hold on to it until like the weather turns. But oddly enough, this past week in Boone, it literally felt like October.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We had 63-degree highs, cloudy, rainy, foggy, the whole beans in the jar, deal. And we've talked about it on here before, I'm sure. It's getting full already, and it's August 7th. So we look forward to what January and February will bring to us in August. But yeah.
So it feels a little seasonably appropriate based on the weather of
the sun came out today. Days. Yeah, I actually saw my shadow today.
Big C saw a shadow.
Yeah, I don't know if there's some type of groundhog joke we can make about 3 weeks till tailgating or something like that.
Probably.
But yeah, we could, but it would be very corny. But anyway, the sun came out, and I was like, oh, very nice. Good to see you again. And we all know that feeling up here.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to actually have a hashtag BGP mail satchel here. We got some good submissions. Talk about what's been going on with all the new in the football program, and then later on in the show, we actually have Appalachian State defensive back Elijah McCantos, who we just ended that recording with him, and Charles, it was great. We had a great time with him. He is a transfer student. He is from Illinois. Well, I mean, he's from Miami, but he's coming from Illinois. It was great. It was great having a guy that is new to the mountain, relatively speaking. He's been here a little over a year, and we had a great conversation with him. It was a lot of fun.
He's new to the mountain, but in nowadays that's a wily veteran anymore. If you've been here for a year, so I don't want to spoil it, but this might be the most interesting person we've ever talked to.
Yeah.
You're going to hear some things that I was not expecting to hear. And I don't want to ruin it. Like, I don't even want to tease anything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to even say this or that. Like, I just don't think you're going to expect to hear out of him what you expected. So, but very interesting guy, a self-proclaimed nerd, if we must. All right, that's the only tease.
Yeah.
That's the only tease, AJ.
Checkmate. That's all. You win that description. I'll give up. Great. It was a great conversation, and you're gonna really enjoy it, folks. Stick around. Great personality, and a guy that's playing and practicing and studying very hard to be a great player at App State. Shout out to Coach Spear for recommending Eli for the show, which was awesome. And this is always interesting because we're recording here on August 7th. Football fall camp's going on. I mean, there are other teams on campus. They're practicing and playing, but really competition just really hasn't started yet. No one's keeping score. There's no one in the win or loss column at this point. We're just all anticipating the sports season as a whole to start. And obviously with football at App State, that's just kind of what we talk about. And it's the fall camp. It's the Hope Springs Eternal here in August. Even though we call it fall camp, it's really not fall camp. It's summer camp, but whatever. It doesn't matter. That's just where we are right now. So we don't necessarily have Olympic sports to talk about or update anybody on because we don't. We have Styles Roofing is our Olympic sports coverage sponsor for this year. We're happy to have them. So if you're in the greater Charlotte area, and I know this for a fact, it's rained so much in Charlotte that they've been very, very busy working on a lot of different roofs. 704-842-1874 is the number you need to know to call or text Billy Styles to get your roof fixed. They're the best in the business. I mean, I've been saying this for years, and it's because it's true. They don't get paid up front. They're going to get paid when the job's done and you're satisfied. So those of you in the greater Charlotte area, holler at them for your roof needs. And we have Blue Deer Cookie coming back for the hashtag BGP Mail Satchel segment, which we're really, really excited about. It's an awesome business in the high country in West Jefferson, downtown Boone, downtown Blowing Rock, and the trailers up and running. They're on 127 North, not 127, 321. I got Catawba County on the brain, 321 northbound. So check them out. Great coffee, ice cream sandwiches, cookies, milkshakes, whatever you want. It's a great spot. That's really been the spot when we're in Blowing Rock and we have like Mellow Mushroom. Just go right from Mellow Mushroom into Blue Deer, and you can you already felt full, but extra full with that little stop there in Blowing Rock. So we're going to get into the hashtag BGP Mail Satchel here. Charles, is there anything else we need to talk about before we jump in here?
It's kind of like a kickoff episode.
Yeah.
Spare the pun, but we could sit here and talk about a lot of college athletic stuff, but I don't think that's really relevant for us right now.
Yeah.
There's a litany of things like Yosef is just being put into the EA Sports college football game. And
That's
I'm
pretty
like, all right, cool. And I saw some opinions about tight pants on Yosef and in an oily beard, and I'm like, it's. I've
Yosef
never
doesn't need tight pants. Where do you fall?
I've never looked for how tight Yosef's pants are. But I just think it's a video game thing. So no big deal. But I do think I think I saw some still shots that our hill, like Miller Hill, looks more accurate than it did the previous year and stuff like that, scoreboard stuff. And so it doesn't look like it just goes into some meadow in the back and there's like 5 or 6 trees. But it looks a little bit more accurate and all that. So yeah, the mail satchel. We're gonna dive in.
Gonna dive in.
Pull dive in. Out.
And so the so this is for Twitter, mailbag, and then the 333 Club here. Best submission. We're gonna send a gift card to get an ice cream sandwich from Blue Deer. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool incentive there. And I will mention this. This is already a kickoff episode. We're already like a bunch of false starts in the first scrimmage here. At some point next week, we'll have information about the 32-day raffle. We're going to do that again, raise money for Yosef Club, getting some items signed. I know Richie Williams. This is the 20th anniversary of the 2005 national championship year. Mm-hmm. And so Richie's going to sign some stuff for us. He's very generous in doing that. And going to get some cool items to raffle off. And again, all proceeds go to support Yosef Club like we've been doing for, I guess this is the 6th or 7th year. So that more information to come on that, just not this episode. All right, let's jump in here. This is from the A-Holes Tailgate. It's on Twitter, on X. Sorry, X. Maybe this is the year. This is the year we need to transition. I've already declared 2025 the year of irresponsibility. Maybe this is the year also of referring to this as X now instead of Twitter. Which coach do we think will be the best at giving pregame in-your-face, get fired up speeches?
I hope it's DJ Smith. I think he's still young, right? And he has that fire in him, and he's back home. So that would be my guess. AJ, what do you say?
Well, first of all, I think this is I think we need to parse out Matt Greenhall. It's kind of Matt Greenhall's job description to do that.
Well, he said coach. Yeah. I mean, when I think coach, I'm thinking
Yeah. I think A-Holes was thinking that as well. The first person that came to my mind was DJ Smith, because I've seen him do it as a player to his teammates in a very motivating, very intense way. Not in a great moment, and he wasn't necessarily being positive, but the intensity, and we're going to hear that. You'll hear a little bit of this later. There's another tease with Elijah McCantus. But I think it's him, Charles. He played with such an intensity. He is intense, and he's up here to prove himself. So there's so many things lined up that I think he'll be the one that has the most juice in the huddle. But I don't know. I think maybe there's some other guys with the personality that could do a good job with that as well. Maybe we need to get to know him a little bit, but it's hard to say. But I say DJ Smith is a good good guess there.
That's a default answer for the time being.
Yeah, it is. Garrett Drawn. This has tons of facts to consider, but with the incoming transfers in the 26th class looking solid, how long do we expect Loggins to hang in Boone? This is like the most premature question of all time.
I think these questions came for drink too early, right? I mean, I think that's as soon as he was hired, the idea was maybe very similar. I think although we're in unprecedented times, we actually fired a football coach. We don't know what to expect, but I think if you were to tell me that he won't be here long because of success, there'd be reason to argue with that. And if he said he won't be here long because he won't have success, I wouldn't disagree either. So, but that's the way that this like game is right now. That's the way the business is. So, I don't think we can sit here and say for certain anything. But it's a waiting game. Let's play one game, and then go from there.
So this is a conversation I've had with several people, several listeners this summer because we just have never been in a situation like this, especially in the like the industrialized, like commercialized era of college sports, college football. Um, about what are our expectations, this, that, and the other. I don't know about you, Charles. I'm interested to hear what you think. But like, this dude needs some slack. Like, if we go, I mean, I just with the turnover, the volatility in a coaching staff turnover, they're having to guess. I mean, I've heard Coach Loggins say this a lot, which is, you know, a lot of these guys, we haven't even seen them play yet. And actually, you know, we really would have liked to have had Coach Loggins on like for this episode, but in talking to some folks, like, what is there to talk about except like there is no quarterback competition because no one has stood out. I mean, we're going to hear all the same things over and over again. They say, well, we haven't seen people play, but there's a scrimmage on Saturday that'll thin the herd a little bit. We'll get to know a little bit more, but there's so much new, there's so much unknown, and with this guy at the helm, you just don't know what's going to hit, what's not going to hit, how long it's going to take to get adjusted. Now, on one hand, you could say because of the portal, there's less of an excuse to give someone slack. Hey, you have the portal, go win now. I don't know. I don't think it's that easy at this level, at our level, to say that, to make those demands. So I think that he would have to like beat a student on camera to get fired this year. I'm sure his contract has a hefty buyout.
I would disagree with that statement.
Oh, really?
There, wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility for anyone anymore. Not
Okay.
just our coach, but just anyone. I don't
So
think it has to be
what record
misconduct.
do you think? What record do you think is unacceptable?
No, I'm not answering that question today.
All right, that's fair. I was getting a little premature with
2
that.
and 10 is unacceptable.
2 and 10 is pretty terrible. Yeah.
And I also think that will other people will believe that a couple more wins would still be unacceptable.
What do you think? It's tough.
I don't know. Yeah, you want me to sit here and say, you know, what will satisfy me? I can't tell you because I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm there too.
Because like I'm not going to sit here and put a number on anything.
Yeah, because a lot of it depends on how the season goes too. Get some injuries, you find out like who's good, who's this.
That's the other thing is what do we mean by slack? What slack?
Yeah, that's a good point. How to define it? I don't know. I think context is important.
Other programs have done the same thing that we've had, and it's not worked, and it has worked. So you're judged off is can you have X number of newcomers and be good? Then if that can happen and it has shown to have happened in other places, then why can't it happen here?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the measuring stick is not should always be ourselves, right? But it's also going to be the other people who are going through the same thing within your conference and among your peers in the G5, G6, whatever you want to call it.
Do you think, if we fast forwarded to Thanksgiving weekend and it's the Monday after Thanksgiving and we're 6-6 and we're waiting for a bowl selection, does your gut reaction to hearing that say, okay, that's acceptable, that's not bad, it's not great?
All this comes down to is how bad you play at your worst and how good you play at your best.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. See, I think there's just a ton of context that needs to go into, like, if you have young players, like if you're figuring out lineups and people in different position groups that are like emerging later in the year and you're playing really good at the end of the year and you have a record maybe that's not great, then maybe you can see glimpses of, okay, we can kind of see how this is going. But that's a good point.
Let's say if we lose the first game, how much is it going to take for us to forget that this year?
Oh, if we lose a Charlotte, like beat Boise, I think it'd be pretty easy to forget Charlotte.
But then it's like that's what I just said. How good are you at your worst, and how bad are you? Or how good are you at your best? It's like if we have a team that could beat Boise, then also lose to Charlotte, then what do we have?
Right. Yeah. That's
You
why.
know,
That's why September's a bad measuring stick as far as
right?
like if you're good or not. Because like last year, I mean, pretty pumped to beat James Madison at home. It's pretty cool. It's like, yeah, let's go. And then like it was. We didn't have like a look great at our best too many of those games last year. So it'll be interesting to see what the what do we look like at our best looks like this year. That's going to be very interesting to see. Yeah, and with in my comment earlier about like I don't think someone's going to get fired the first year. That's really that's a buyout. Like how much money will he be owed? I think he'll be owed like $5 million after the first year. I think that's in the contract. I might be wrong about that, so someone can fact check me. But I tell you what, if something like that happens, and this is super hypothetical because who knows, but like then you're looking at Doug Gillen, like the Doug Gillen's job's in trouble too. I think he knows that. I mean, I'm not.
Well, look, I mean, it's August 7th, and we've had a handful of practices, and we're already talking about bowl games, AD's future buyouts, and we literally don't know who our starting quarterback is yet.
But yeah, I want to end this little aside on an upswing. If another team out there thinks like if we have a really good season and we play really well on all these things, like the opposite scenario, what we just mentioned, I don't think nothing's keeping him here. You know, not nothing, but if someone wants him, someone will get him.
I think, once again, yeah, exactly. We go back and look at Drink. There was talk like, he won't be here long, but I don't think anyone was like, he's
1 year
going
long.
to take. He's going to an SEC school in a year.
Yeah,
I don't think any of us thought that was possible.
And not only that, he's a $10 million man now.
Like yeah, they've given him three contracts.
Yeah, yeah. This will be his contract literally goes in like he's got 10 years worth of contracts at Mizzou. Started with $3.2 million. Yeah. Now he's making $10 million a year.
Yeah, 29, right?
Yeah, to 2029. Yeah. Yeah. So hey, there you go. Good for
sure he's happy.
I'm sure he is. And shout out, by the way, Coach Drinkwitz gave $5,000 to our hurricane drive that we did for the Chamber of Commerce Foundation, which was just friggin' awesome. Didn't have to do it, but he did it. It's pretty cool. All right, this is from BP 383. Dow gives me Matt Rule vibes. Why did I read this? Hope I'm completely off. But are we concerned with sustained success with him? He hasn't stayed at the same job more than 2 years. Sorry for the glass half empty approach, but I'm pulling for him to do well. Thoughts? So my
yes.
What?
Yes. All the things.
All the things.
All the things. Yes. The Matt Rule comparison for Carolina Panthers fans who are still reeling, I guess, from that, and because it still feels like it's falling there in Charlotte.
Yeah.
But the 2-year deal that's glaring. It's real glaring. So when we talk about what we talked about, the previous question about nothing's keeping him here, but also how long will he be here? Like, the answer is pretty easy. Like if you had to put a figure or odds on 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, like the odds of him staying anywhere for 3 years would be based off past history is low.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of talk nowadays about, hey, this is a business. It's a business. Coach Loggins is like, I'm a professional football coach. I've negotiated. This is a business. This dude's up here to make hay while the sun's shining. He wants to get to the next, and I just have never bought you're treating us like a stepping stone job. When I about said Brian Kelly, when Brian Kelly left Notre Dame for LSU, That's the great example of like, is Notre Dame the step? Every job can be a stepping stone job. So I don't like that. Like, oh, how can we not be a step? Every job, depending on who's your coach, where they want to go, what their goals are, what's available at the time, can be a quote unquote step. Was University of Florida stepping stone job for Urban Meyer? Is Florida a stepping stone job? So I've never bought into that, and I've also I don't know, like I think it's totally fine and fair to say he wants to maximize his results here for other opportunities. I don't know. I don't think that's something we should be afraid to say. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I want someone that's going to be great at Appalachian State. I want Appalachian State to be great for a long time. That's what I want. I want us to be put in a position to be great.
That's all anybody wants. And I don't think anybody really cares who's in charge. Right?
I want a good person in charge. I want someone that wants to be here in charge, but I think there's a huge difference in someone that wants to be here but leaves and someone who doesn't want to be here and leaves. I think there's a big difference in that. I think there's a difference.
Yeah, sure. But the winds will hide things, right? Like
100%.
So come on. I think that's if let's say you go 10-2 every year, but nobody wants to hire you.
Yeah.
Away, it's like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Totally cool with that.
Well, yeah, and actually there's a couple things that Elijah told us, and I don't want to I'm not going to tease what he said, but there are some things that he's mentioned about the things that Coach Loggins is doing that has impressed me. It's like kind of cool. It's like, all right, I like that that's happening. The other thing is too, like this dude is recruiting like crazy. Like these guys are being super aggressive out there, trying to make this a great team. We're all benefiting from the effort, right? Whether that is executed or not, I don't know, but we'll see one way or the other. Charles, this will be about it with Twitter, but this might be my cookie submission here. This might be the one. This is from Ben Pennington. Two-parter here. Number one, which two guaranteed win combo would you pick? Option A, guaranteed wins against Charlotte and JMU. Option B, guaranteed wins against Boise State and Oregon State. Which are you picking for guaranteed wins out of that combo?
So I'm trying to look at this and not think that we would, like, if I choose Oregon State and Boise State, that we're not also losing one of those games against those other two schools, and then vice versa.
Yeah. You're rolling the dice on the others.
Yeah. So if you're rolling the dice on the others, like I don't have, and this will tell you where our expectations are, right? Okay. I don't have a problem if we lost to Boise State or Oregon State at home. You know what I mean? Like that feels like those are games we will not be favored in.
Yes.
So for the sake of the program, it would be Charlotte and James Madison.
Yeah, I can't add anything. I agree.
If you beat Oregon State and Boise State, cool. You get play one of them again next year, and that's it.
Yeah,
and maybe never ever again. But we know we're going to see Charlotte again, and we know we're going to see James Madison again, and that will make us feel a little bit easier about life.
And we compete against them every day of the year.
Mm-hmm. Because they're right here.
We compete against them, every day in recruiting for all sports.
Yes.
So it'd be dope to win on the blue turf, right? But I'm banking Charlotte and JMU.
I'd rather just beat them next year here.
Yeah,
that'd be just as awesome. It's like every time we went to Montana and lost, and then they finally came here, and we beat them, and that was a great night, and we had the double rainbow, and it was stormy, and it was a 6:00 game, and man, it's wild fun time.
Where does the picture of the double rainbow and that game, that shot, where does that rank in all-time pictures at Kid Brewer?
I remember DJ saying something like we can't stop showing that thing. Everybody eats it up. So it's got to be a top 5.
It's way up there.
It's not the best picture ever, but it's
one of the prettiest of Kidd Brewer.
And it was still like September,
Yes.
It wasn't fall. It was warm.
The leaves were full.
But the sky was so spooky.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it had a little danger in it. And then there was that, as there is with rainbows, usually there's rain or storms around and the sun peeks through and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
But that was pretty neat.
That was the only game that I've ever watched in one of those boxes, one of the luxury boxes at Kidd Brewer. And that was the game also that I realized I never want to watch another game in a luxury box at Kidd Brewer.
If you're a purist football fan, no offense to those who enjoy the box.
God bless you.
It usually only takes one, and you're like, "Give me the bleachers, give me a hot dog."
Man. You don't feel the vibrations of the game up there. You
don't hear the people.
You don't. And you're like you can say when you're in the bleachers and you're yelling and screaming and banging on the backs of the seats, you can say you're contributing. Somehow you're not contributing in the box. You're a non-factor in the box.
To the atmosphere.
Generally not. Financially, you're a pretty big contributor if you're in the box. Yes. I wasn't that night, but
I paid so I didn't have to scream.
That's right. To watch you scream. And then there's the second part of this is really great. If there is one position on defense you could throw a mega star in this season, GOAT level talent, and that's another little tease for coming up. What position on defense would it be? I think it's pretty obvious. For me, I'm pretty sold on what I would pick. Charles, what do you think?
A middle linebacker.
Okay, moving on. That's it. I'm sorry. That's it. That's the answer.
As always, folks, like we never talk about these. We literally open these things up. I didn't search hashtag BGP Mail Satchel on X today. I may have looked in the Facebook page and gotten a head start on that. But I didn't talk to AJ about it. That's for sure.
It's just next Charlotte JMU middle linebacker.
Yeah, exactly. So to the Facebook we go. Yeah,
is that where we go? Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. All-star contributor David Phillips. That's what Facebook told me. Has there ever been a season where it would be just as likely for us to be 1-10 or 10-1? And love you, David. Really do. I did not understand your viewpoint. Your viewpoint and my viewpoint are opposites. Let's put it like that. I don't. A one-win season or a one-loss season, like we're certainly going to fall somewhere in between that. But I think we could probably raise the floor a little and lower the ceiling.
Yeah. So the season that I went into thinking that we were going to lose one game was 2013. Yeah. I thought we were going to lose one game. I thought we were going to lose to Georgia in November. But I thought we were going to wax everybody else. And that was the biggest shock of a season. I still, to this day, can't believe that we were that bad in 13. I think that we are going to be not terrible and also not great this year until I see something else. But, I'm not down with that. I'm not looking at this season where we have zero idea how any of our skill. Like, you got to think about it like this, Charles. The star skill position player on us that we have coming back that like no one's talking about or whatever is like Kanye Roberts. And like,
right,
we don't have a running back. Like Dalton Stroman's coming back and that's good. But Dalton was like that big threat. He wasn't that possession guy.
He's not an alpha.
Yeah. And we have David Larkins, who's getting a lot of hype. I think he's healthy. He's strong coming in. I think he said this is the healthiest he's felt. And like, we think David Larkins is going to have a great year, but we don't. So we lost Eli Wilson. So like, we have so many, like, I don't know. Will they be good? I don't know. Will it be? Like, we don't know, but the staff's been so.
Yeah. If there's any position, it's tight ends, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's where we feel like that's where we're the most comfortable because.
Yeah. I think that way. Yeah.
We have just churned out guys year after year, and D'Lo and Juracek are tight end dudes. Like that's like their specialty is recruiting tight ends. So whether it's David Larkins or whether it's Kanan Hamlet, or somebody that we forgot his name because we haven't heard it since the spring.
I think
right?
Max Drag, left, right? Didn't Max Drag leave?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he did.
So whatever that is, or whoever that may be, we, if there's anything that does continue from the past, is that chances are no one will cover the App State tight end.
That's right.
We can hope.
Hey, speaking of Juracek, I mean, you know that. What's his name? Is his name Ryan Juracek? Is that his name? Coach Juracek? Ryan Juracek?
I think so.
That's his name.
Yeah.
You know his dad's the AD at Arkansas?
No, AJ, I had no idea.
Okay. That wasn't the trivia point. I was just confirming. All right. Do you know that Tim Herdklotz played basketball in high school with Hunter Juracek?
I didn't know that. I know.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I did
the
know
Boonshine connection.
Look at that.
Isn't that cool?
How about that?
Sweet. Pretty cool. Little.
I like that.
Yeah, a little small world thing going on. So yeah, all right. Thanks, David.
Okay.
No cookie for you.
Oh, wow. Harsh. We have tallied the votes. We have declared a winner after 4% reporting. Sorry. Christian Guest. With all the newness and uncertainty surrounding the coach, staff, and team, which player or coach would you choose to represent your expectations for the 2025 season, such as 5'6" Coach Loggins, no disrespect to the Short Kings, 6 foot tall Kanye Roberts, or 6'7" JJ Cole?
Oh, that's a creative. That's a creative question.
That's up there.
Christian and Ben are getting cards.
Okay, there we go.
If there's another good one, we'll throw in another one. But Ben Pennington and Christian Guest are getting cards. That's a very creative question. I like that.
So, I think this is the easy way to say what we're thinking, and there may be some type of metaphorical pieces to this, but like Kanye Roberts, like Kanye Roberts,
yeah. I want us to get back on our feet. I want to feel good about how we play. It felt like we played, even in our like the wins at home last year against like Old Dominion and JMU. I can't remember which game it was. I think it was Old Dominion, where I kept wondering, like, why aren't they running the ball on us? Like, why do they keep throwing? And because we weren't winning in ways that made me feel confident. We were surviving them a little bit.
Yeah.
I want this season, even if it's a Kanye West middle of the road, like we're fighting, I want us to get back our
Kanye
footing
West.
of. Would I say Kanye West? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Middle of the road, Kanye West.
There's nothing middle of the road about Kanye West. Middle of the like whatever. Kanye Roberts. I want us to get our footing back on and feel confident that we're playing better. That's what I want.
Sure. Similar question from Bryant Barbary. With this new coaching era upon us, what are some of your aspects of either our offense or defense that you would like to see improve this season? What is the secret sauce that we were lacking last year? I think there was more than sauce that we were lacking last year. I think we were lacking pickles and onions and tomatoes and maybe even some buns.
Beef.
Yeah. I think this, like, it's the defense just has to be like, we will be so much better if the defense is better, right? It just seems pretty like a pretty bland statement, but
yeah,
it all works together.
So the teens, and I think the FBS era Appalachian State, when you think of like good Appalachian football, it is led by the defense, and that identity is we're going to make you quit. And the offense wasn't far behind. I mean, the offense was going to grind you down. But I do feel like the championship era was more defined, even though that 2006 defense was great. I feel like the last stretch of the FCS was more defined by leading the way with the offense.
Yeah,
I want at least for us to have an identity one way or the other. If it's the defense that has it, that's cool. Let's lead with our identity with playing tough defense. But if it's going to be like one thing that I think we've really lacked for a long time is a tough, nasty identity on the offensive line. Like I feel like we've gotten just mediocre at offensive line, and we talked about the numbers here. This is like a year and a half ago about how we went from producing starting offensive lines that we recruited in high school and they came up redshirted, whatever, and we had this sustained stretch of like really successful offensive lines, and then it kind of fell off, and then we've had to piecemeal it. And we had a good offensive line there with like Bucky and who? Oh my gosh,
Isaiah
Helms.
Isaiah Helms. Yeah.
And we pieced it together, and then Cooper Hodges.
Yeah.
But I feel like we don't have an identity on that offensive line so I'm like looking for that nasty kind of like play past the whistle, maybe get that Parker Collins, unsportsmanlike for shoving a guy past the bench. I wouldn't mind seeing that this year, us kind of leading and dictating the game on the line of scrimmage. If it ends up being that we're better on that's cool, but we need identity one way or the other.
Which leads into Steve Brooks' question, in which I'll kind of, piggyback off and answer is which line, offense or defense, do you think will be better out of the gate? And, I think that will decide how good we are or we aren't. So, I do think, we both have points. Offensive line was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't, we've seen better. Defense was fine. Wasn't great. We've seen better. And certainly we've had two different errors of two different divisions of what works best. And I think FCS, if you have elite offense, you're going to play pretty well. You're going to have long seasons. That defense can't survive there, but we just choked people out with defense when we first got to FBS. We didn't have to do a lot on offense. We were pretty we just did what we did because we knew the defense was good enough to just take care of the rest.
Yeah.
And it was a stubborn at points. And we were like, we go on these road games, right? And you're like, man, we're just really not taking care of this team as fast as we could. But like there's zero threat from them to do anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's many examples from Sats years and Drinks, road games where it's kind of like, sleepwalking, but it didn't matter because we knew we just basically had to show up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know who to guess will be better.
I don't either.
Because we've lost players on the defensive line. It sounds like there's going to be some change at offensive line in places. So I don't know. I don't know if I know the answer. If I had to choose, I would hope the offensive line would be better.
Yeah.
Because that typically sustains itself. I don't think an offensive line gels. This is a hot take, massive hot take. I don't think you get better week by week to the point of being great. Like you have to have like a platform at which you are in week one, and it's like then you build off that a little bit. But if you're not there, if you're not at a certain point, you can only get so much better.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Like you got to have the talent. That was a long way for me to say you got to have talent to be good. It's not to say you can't have a bunch of no names who figure it out, but they've got to get lucky a lot. I think at offensive line.
Yeah, and outside of quarterback, it's the most technical. Like they depend on their technique and their mechanics. You got to be good right out of the jump.
And they can communicate. And they can communicate better, right? Like that, and that'll make them look better. And they can not have penalties and be in the right spots and all that. But
yeah. And the other thing is, last year we had our best defensive players last year were Santana Hopper and Joshua Donald.
Yeah,
they're on the defensive line. And how did that work out for us? Right?
Wasn't enough.
I think if we have, if we were to say, all right, we want the offensive line to get off the jump better and have a better season, I think we see different results because You're gonna give your quarterback more time. You're gonna open more holes for the running. You just get it opens things up. I mean, it really is all about
Everything.
offensive line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have that. I think if I don't know what I did, was that the question? Like, which would you rather have, or which do you think? I don't
Which
know
do
what
you
I think's
will
going to
be
happen.
better? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows what we think will be better, but I think we've morphed this into who do you hope will be better?
Yeah. I would hope for a better offensive line in it. I want a nasty, like I want an offensive line full of, I already referenced him, but like Parker Collins and Bo Nuns and Colby Gosses that are just nasty dudes. Cooper Hodges, Vic Johnsons. These are just nasty to play against that aren't going to quit. They're going to run like, parade of elephants. I don't know how much like inside zone, logging this is going to run or whatever, but just give me some nasty dudes that are going to lose their mind if there's some foul play going on and they're going to take up for their quarterback and their players and they kind of lead the way. I would love to see that. I think that'll give us, I don't know, and I could be way wrong about that, but give me that offensive line. Give me that great play from the offensive line, and I'll go with that.
Steve Brooks also asked about early thoughts on the men's basketball conference schedule that dropped today. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that, AJ.
Yeah, I did a little bit. I'm going to pull it up real quick, though.
We still have like that stretch where it's like, hey, you get 4 home games. Hey, you get 4 road games.
Yeah.
I think the road games, the 4 road games are like we go between like December something and January something. We don't play a men's home game. And it's like typical Sun Belts, like we're not traveling to the mountains when it's bad. But then we also get, not that it can't snow, anywhere else, but I don't know. That's just my thought. And then right after we go on those 4 roaders, then we go on 4 home. We have 4 homers right back to back. But I do think it's interesting. You'll have these situations where, like, especially with the teams that are in your quote unquote division that you play twice, that like sometimes you'll get done with one team in January, and then another one you won't play. You'll play like in December and then in late March.
Yeah,
and it's oddly unbalanced. You still have like these travel partner kind of things where it's like, hey, you go to Virginia, and then you go to Georgia, and then you go over here and you go over there, and you don't really have too long a trips. I know Kearns that hated the what was it, the coastal to JMU Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's like the conference didn't know how far away Harrisburg and Conway are.
Yeah, that was.
But I just really wonder how Monroe is going to be able to send both of their basketball teams to Boone and not bust their budget. Sorry.
Just ask the
Just ask the football coach.
They're going to ask the they're going to ask the parents to help drive their kids.
Can we dog Monroe for a minute? We got one more question, but
yeah, let's dog them. Yeah.
I mean, what all is Brian Vincent doing?
It's like high school. It's like this is high school all over again.
Is he cooking burgers like 3 hours before the game
Is he preparing the hospitality room for the referees for the basketball games?
I think he mows the grass on Thursdays. Mows the turf.
But hey,
the 50-50 raffle, is he pulling that ticket at the end of the third quarter?
Yeah. He's gonna break the huddle. Like, hold on, guys, hold on.
I think he takes the night drop. I think he takes the bank bag to the bank that night as well. I can make these jokes because my dad was an assistant principal.
Yeah, no, these are great.
And I lived in the press box with him when I was a kid. I know exactly what those kind of people do, and they do everything. They do absolutely everything. Oh, yeah. They're breaking up the 2 teenagers making out behind the tubas. It's everything.
Oh, this is great. That's great.
Sorry.
Great insight.
I thought about that this week, and I was like, I'm gonna let it fly at some point.
But so this home. So I'm looking at the home conference schedule real quick. By the way, we're playing at Central Michigan November 3rd. I think that was well known, and then playing Charlotte's coming to Boone on the 21st. That's cool, and then we're going to East Carolina. I think that's been known for a while.
Yeah.
But I just don't like. I don't know. I don't like the conference game starting in December. I don't know. I don't like that. We're gonna have 2 homes on the 18th and the 20th. Students won't be there. I think it sucks to have conference games start when nobody's on campus and they're not there. I hate that. Last year, the conference made us play 4 home games, when with no students, and so this we're on the road for 4 games when there are no students. So New Year's Eve, January 3rd, 8th, and 10th, we're on the road. No students in Boone. We'll have students in Boone on January 15th, and then so we're coming right out of the gate. Students are on campus for 4 games in a row, 2 weeks in a row. We have home games. That's good. As far as like the travel matchup and stuff, I mean, that's always going to be suspect for the Sun Belt, but I'm at least grateful that they didn't stick us with 4 consecutive home games in late December, early January. That's the least they could do, I guess.
It's been several years now, and it doesn't seem like they're going to stop this.
Yeah, right? I hate it. I hate the way they do this.
And I haven't looked at the rest of the league's slates because there's 9,000 teams in the Sun Belt, and it takes time. And but I'm sure other people. I think I saw the Georgia State guys. They were like, "Oh, this doesn't look that bad." I was like, "All right, cool." I'm sure someone's not happy with what they got somewhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, they kind of flip. I guess they're kind of flip flopping it. It's like, hey, we know we kind of screwed you last year. We'll get you.
I don't think they know or care. Do you? Do you think like anybody in that office knows or thinks? I know that
there has to be some type of like thought process into this.
Yeah,
or else they wouldn't do these 4 and 4s.
Yeah, I
know Kearns hates it, right? I know Kearns has been outspoken about it.
So, according to
privately
sources, apparently all but one coach.
That's right.
Filed like a protest to the league for the way they do this.
And one of them was like the new teams. It was like Southern Miss. They're like, oh, we don't care. Yeah. We're just glad to be here.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who it was. I just know that like the Sun Belt treats. I mean, football's their baby. Like every conference, it's all about football. I get it, but it's football and baseball and like for whatever reason, basketball. It's like they have the
distant.
It's a distant third, and it's just dumb. Like the Southern Conference treats their basketball with like kid gloves, and like the Sun Belt is like, oh, we got to do this again. It's like a divorced dad, like serving Chef Boyardee when their kids show up and they forgot about it. That's how they treat basketball, and it's a bummer.
It's my weekend again.
Yeah. Oh, fine. We'll just watch 4 movies in a row and just go to sleep.
1 in a month. Come on, pal.
Yeah. I hate the way they do it. But I mean, listen, in mid-January, will it be awesome to say, oh yeah, we got 2 weeks in a row of game. That's cool. But like, I don't know, man. I hate the way they do. I hate the way they do it. But that's just me.
I mean, people off the mountain aren't coming up for all 4 of those games. That's like need to spread it out a little bit, not have 4 games.
But they don't care. They
9 days.
Yeah. Anyway,
Chip Buckwell. Does the culture we believe in and have relied on survive in the locker room in this new era of the portal? Is it just talk and no real substance? I think does the culture we believe in and have relied on survive in the locker room in this new era of the portal? Is it just talk and no real substance? I don't know. I feel like every year is a new year with the portal. I think we're finally gotten past COVID years and stuff. Maybe, perhaps. I think.
Yeah.
And maybe we find that you don't have players playing 7 seasons or something like that, or 6 that like have a little bit more of like maybe a flip back towards what the old school was.
Yeah.
I want it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if you talk about the quote unquote culture, you kind of had to have people who were hanging around for a while to know what it was like. And I think I know where Chip's coming from with this is because like there isn't as many as there used to be. You can kind of name a handful, and it's like, hey, these couple guys know what it was like. I think that's what we want to see. That's what we feel comfortable with. But I mean, D'Lo is not gonna do every little thing. He can't do every little thing. So those things,
and he shouldn't.
He shouldn't, and so those things should survive, right? But I think this is more of a results-based comment, so to speak, that I think we're all just hoping for. Like, we just hope that the results will bear this out at some point, and with that, the culture will thrive.
So I think fans, like, we try to tie narratives and make sense of things, and I think there's a big disconnect between what actually is happening and what's making things go well. I think fans like to say, well, it's this constant threat of this culture that has just survived. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. But we had mentioned in, I think, this past year, like, we need to stop saying, like, I mean, we're kind of at that part, that this point, like we were in the post Armonte, like immediately after that. To quote Steve Brown and David Jackson, you can't just roll out the ball, put on the blockade, and say, well, we're App State. Like, it has to be reinvented again. Like, there has to be a new crop to decide how things are going to go. Right. And so, like, when I think of, like, starting 20 years ago, there's a bunch of dudes that put in a lot of hard work, like, that was built from, they're all cut from the same cloth. You had Coach Moore there and a lot of continuity. There's a lot of hard work that culminated into those championships. But then eventually those guys all stopped. Those graduated. Armani left, and then it kind of went away. And we weren't playing what we're used to. And it took until literally a new era, moving to a new subdivision, a new staff, a new strength, like all this stuff. And it took a bunch of players coming together saying, like, what do we want to do about this? And then they were great for 5 whatever years. I think we're there where a group of players need to decide, well, how are we going to do it? And I think the common elements of the App State culture really comes down to, like, toughness, and nobody believes in me, we're going to show you. I think those are the ones that need to really survive to get us to be great again. And I think, actually, and I'm being Pollyanna with this, with Chip, but if what all these guys have in common, not all, but what most of these guys have in common is we're not from here. We came from over here. We're all new. If that's the common thread, they say, you know what? No one's giving us respect. We're all coming here for a reason. Let's show them. That could be a formula this year to have these guys play above themselves. So I think that we're past the whole, like, hey, we need to sustain no, we don't. We actually, like, we need to actually reinvent this stuff. And when I say we, the players are going to have to decide, what are they going to do? And they don't know. Like, I think, I'm not going to tease what we talked about with Elijah, but it's not like these guys are, like, calling John Law, hey, John, how should we do this? DJ Smith is there to offer some cultural, feedback and context, but it's going to be these 18 to 23-year-old, 24-year-old, 25-year-old players to decide how they want to play and whether or not they want to win. We've been saying that for the last couple seasons, last year especially, but there's no, like, here's how the culture was 20 years ago that's going to save us. It's going to be today deciding, do you want to be tough? Do you want to step up and punch the other guy in the mouth when they don't, because nobody believes you're going to do it. No one's picking Appalachian State. We don't even have a quarterback right now. So, I mean, we do have a quarterback. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Toughness, chip on your shoulder. No pun intended with Chip asking the question there. Just watch me. I'm going to prove it. That sort of attitude, if that can come back, that Appalachian deep-rooted culture will, I think, reveal itself. But it's going to be up to the players.
Mm-hmm. We can't make it happen ourselves.
And the coaches can't.
With attendance and money invested, like, between the lines, like 60 minutes on a Saturday, like, they got to decide, do we want to do what it takes to win? What are you willing to give up?
Who said that?
Smart man.
Yeah.
There's your culture.
There's your culture. There you go.
All right. That's the end of the Facebook satchel. And
good. Well, we're done.
Cookies to Two cookies, two
Yeah,
cookie
2.
coupons.
I'm giving 2 to Ben Pennington and Christian Guest.
I like it.
Ben Pennington, Christian Guest. Christian's was very creative, and Ben's was just, and there were a lot of good questions. I'm not saying a lot of good ones, but
keep asking. Your chance for a cookie will come.
That's right.
They've only increased.
Yeah, that's right.
Between now and December, because
That's
we're going to
correct.
try and do multiple winners.
We're going to try.
No guarantees.
Yeah, but Austin at Blue Deer was like, I really like this promotion. So if you need to do multiples every now and then, go ahead and do it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So this is cool. It's a cool thing, get people involved. But thank you everybody for submitting your questions. This is great. A great episode to kick off here. And I want to give a shout out, of course, Blue Deer. Thanks for sponsoring the hashtag BGP Mail Satchel segment. But also Mountaineer Mania for sponsoring again this year our special guest segment. They came on board last year. That is a Boone staple. It's been around for 40 years. Their hours are Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Friday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 1 to 5 p.m., 497 West King Street, Boone, North Carolina. If you don't know where Mountaineer Mania is, I don't know what to tell you. You've tripped over it if you've been to downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Great gear if you're looking for pullovers, hoodies, really nice golf shirts, really, really nice like golf casual business wear, great hats, cool t-shirts, tailgating, outdoor gear. It's an awesome store. It's a Boone staple. Go check them out. And here's the other thing too. I'm just going to shout out Mountaineer Mania real quick. They have donated 5,000 t-shirts to incoming freshmen at Appalachian State. Now, sure, plenty of these kids probably have they got excited, they got accepted, they're ready to be at Appalachian. They already got one. But the fact that Mountaineer Mania wants to make sure that every incoming freshman has some App State gear is awesome. It's just really, really cool. And anytime you shop at Mountaineer Mania, folks, there's part of your purchase that's going back into the university. All of the funds from their Mountain Strong gear, all the sales, and not just the net proceeds, but everything went to disaster relief in the high country. So if you love, what I'm trying to say is, if you love Appalachian State and you love the high country and you love cool stuff, then you need to go to Mountaineer Mania. So go check it out, folks. But yeah, they're sponsoring our special guest segment, and it's Elijah McCantos, who said he's playing safety a lot in practice, but he's in that DB room, so we're happy to have him. Charles, anything else to say before we toss to Elijah?
I don't think so.
Sure. There you go. All right. Well, sit back, grab a smoking jacket, a nice pipe or cigar, your favorite beverage, whether it's hot or cold. Find a comfortable place to sit and get ready to hear the soothing sounds of Appalachian State defensive back Elijah McCantos.